Okay, it's 1974, 1975. I'm with my wife and another couple at the Colorado River, camped out on the bank of the river right by a bridge. We're tripping. What has happened is we're around a big campfire, and my wife made the campfire, but she had made it from debris from inside the car, trash bags and things like that. Well, it turns out that one of the trash bags had a box of 22 shells in it from a hunting trip that I had been on the year before, where I was like trying to shoot rabbits and I couldn't shoot a rabbit. I just couldn't do it, so all the shells were unused. So there's a bag filled with 22 caliber shells sitting in the middle of a bonfire with 4 people around it who are peaking on acid.
James, I appreciate you joining us. Someone who's devoted his life to exploration as you have in many ways under the sea. I'm wondering what is going through your mind tonight.
Carbon fiber composites are used very, very successfully for internal pressure vessels, like let's say a scuba tank. But for something that's seeing external pressure, all of the advantages of composite materials go away and all the disadvantages come into play. So if you're using a uniform material like steel, titanium, or ceramic, or acrylic, you can do computer modeling with a high degree of accuracy and confidence.
And we're having a great time. We're looking at the moon. The sky is sort of fragmenting prismatically into, auras or auroras of light, and it's all very, very wonderful. One of the logs kind of goes like that, and I thought, well, this wood's kind of sparky, It takes you a second to realize what's so-called consensus reality and what's subjective reality. At that time, I heard kind of a pew, and in one of those sort of insightful, just instantaneous flashes, I knew what had happened. The shells, I hadn't even thought about the shells in 6 months, but I knew exactly what had happened. Somehow, I don't know how I'm functioning because I'm peaking on acid. I can barely move. I can barely crawl. I'm grabbing people and pushing them behind the car as these 22 shells are going like that.
The second you start doing carbon composite or any kind of composite materials, you're introducing 2 materials that are in contact with each other. The filament itself and then the epoxy matrix that it sits within. And at that point, you have degradation failure. We always understood that this was the wrong material for submersible hulls because with each pressure cycle, you can have progressive damage. So it's quite insidious because you may have a number of successful dives, which is what happened here, and then have it fail later. If I were diving in a sub that was fully certified, I wouldn't think about it. But even in my own sub, which had a steel hull, I knew that if I dove 2 or 3 times, it was probably good to go because you can cycle steel hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. But that's not the case with composites, so it's quite insidious, and that I think.
So I think I've got to put the fire out. So I'm actually not quite fully peaked. It's coming on like a locomotive at this time, and I start crawling down toward the water with a bucket. I have no idea where I got the bucket. Don't ask. Crawl down to the river. I get a bucket of water. I crawl back to the fire. Now I'm a commando. I'm crawling across the ground like this, and these 22 shells are going beep, 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 like that out of the fire. And I get right in front of the fire. Now I haven't thought through the consequences of throwing a bucket of cold water into a roaring bonfire at a range of about 2 feet while you're on acid. I get up there, I dump the water in, I'm kind of looking down at it, and of course there's this violent steam explosion, which I see in kind of separate jump cuts. First there's no explosion, and then there's, it sort of goes like that, and just knocks me backward. Not that I actually got hit by anything, but just perceptually knocked me backward, and I fell down the bank into the water. So I'm laying in the Colorado River. There's this big, volcano of steam, and the tragedy was averted. There were 2 bullet holes in the car, and and nobody was hurt. So let that be a lesson to you, kids.
The main character, Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, is a former Marine who has been paralyzed in combat. He's a paraplegic. Paralyzed, by the way, and the movie makes clear, in a campaign fought in Venezuela.
Venezuela, that was some mean bush.
Cameron is telling you here, this is the future, America.
Yeah.
This is where we're going.
We got to march over the whole surface of the world to physically secure its resources as they dwindle. And the end of that is not some fixing or getting it to anything new. It's, oh shit, we got to find another planet.
Yeah, we literally have to find another Earth to rape and pillage, to keep, our home planet, to keep the system of capitalism going on our home planet.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but this is true. And I said, every day as I drive out of the studio, I pass underneath that Pinewood gate, the big sign, Pinewood Studios. And I think, someday I'm going to be done with this film, because we did post there too, so it went on for another couple of months. Someday I'm going to drive out that gate and I'm not going to be coming back. And it's going to strike me. It's going to be an emotional moment, because I will know, that I'm gone. But you sorry motherfuckers are going to spend the rest of your lives here. And I walked away. Like, mic drop. And, I don't even really feel that bad about it. Because they fucked with me unfathomably.
Walking through a dream, I see you. My light in darkness, breathing hope of new life.